Okay, everybody. So on today's podcast, we guys have seen the news recently with respect to what's been happening in the VW world, and the newest thing that's been happening for the past little bit is we've been watching Buddy Hale, who's been really pushing the boundaries in the VW customization era, and really just kind of doing something different than a lot of guys have been doing. And on today's podcast, we're going to have Buddy Hale with Type 1 Restorations, and we're going to discuss Karma, the car that took the Al Sloanaker Award at the 2026 Grand National Roadster Show. So, Buddy, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Hey, so it's been, it's funny. It's been a while since we had you on, and the last time we had you on, it was the first podcast that I started, and that's December 2018 is when we had you on the podcast last.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so since then, obviously, you've been doing some pretty big things with respect to, the whole Volkswagen scene as far as car customization has been going. You've always kind of done your own thing and had your own style, and we saw a couple years ago we were supposed to do a podcast about turmoil and some of that stuff, and in the history since you've last been on the podcast, since 2018. You kind of went to battle in 2021, was it, with turmoil?
2022.
In 2022, with turmoil, took that car to the Grand National Roadster Show, and you competed for the Al Sloanaker Award. You were up against some pretty stiff competition, and you held your own over there for sure. I mean, really kind of made a big splash in the car customization era for that, because that level is a whole nother level of customization, not anything that you see at your typical Volkswagen show, that's for sure. And kind of went at it with turmoil, and then you went back to the drawing board after all the agony and pain of going through that with turmoil. You go back at it again with this new car that you've got. So tell us about the new car, Karma, and really, before we get into that, tell me about your desire for the Sloanaker Award to go after that. Like, where does that all come from?
Well, first, and I think it was when did they start contacting people for the
in 2020?
Was it 2020? So essentially, that's when it kind of came to play, when they contacted us, and they kind of they asked us, like, what do we have, what are we working on? So I sent them photos of the split we were working on, and they're like, hey, you guys should maybe consider doing this class, the Sloanaker. And before then, I'd never even heard of it. So, it basically went from, and the funny thing about that car is that car was almost done at the time too. So that's the funny thing about that car. And so it went from that to just kind of focused on that show for the next 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
No, it was 4 years. Yeah, it was 4 years.
Yeah, because after the Sloanaker, after your debut, when you debuted that car kind of at the Sloanaker, before you really started kind of hitting the hot rod circuit, after that, you kind of started taking it to a couple of their hot rod shows. What's been your experience with respect to, like, what makes those shows draw at you more, like your desire to go to some of the hot rod shows and stuff like that? Like what?
Well, the first thing is, like you just said it, this is like the respect that these guys have for, that caliber of a car. You take that stuff to a VW show, and those people just hate on those cars that we do. That's the funny thing about it.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, and to talk on that a little bit, right? Because it's kind of like, Buddy, you're a guy that you put everything into what you build, right? You're pretty invested emotionally, physically, all these things in these cars, and then you take it to a show where it's like, you did when you did Randy Gates' car, right? You brought out this Witter, and it was like this big, huge thing. It was a kind of a benchmark car, but that car fit within the realm of cow look, right?
Yeah.
And so there was kind of a different way that you were perceived with that, right? All of a sudden it was like, here's Buddy Hale. And then you start doing stuff like, because there was a lot of touches on that car, like the style of paint and detail, the custom shift lights, the little tiny things that you do, the little customization tricks that you would do to that car while trying to stay in the confines of cow look, right? And then as you get an opportunity to start going a little further, then what's the next car you do after Randy?
Oh, I don't. Dude, I
Well,
don't
you had
know.
there was the red, Gary Stell's red Ghia, was that the red
Yeah,
Ghia, the red
yeah,
convertible,
yeah.
and
David Ho's car,
David Ho's car, yeah,
uh,
another Type
Dean Kirsten's
34.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Dean
there's been,
Kirsten.
and Dean's car is another car that's like got a lot of custom tricks to it, right?
Yeah, yeah, kind of for what it is. Yeah,
Right. For
more
it's
so though.
definitely not an off the shelf, not what you'd call an off the shelf cow looker 67.
No, no, no.
And so as you start bringing some of these other cars, because you just keep pushing the boundaries, and then your feeling of the VW scene is like they're kind of real rigid, stuck in like what's acceptable,
Yeah.
what's not acceptable, and it's like,
Yes.
and for you, what's that like? I mean, like you're just looking at like too many limitations.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of disrespectful to be honest with you. You know, it's like, the main thing like they were focusing on the time was like how much money is into this car, and oh, this guy's so rich. They can just do whatever they want. So it was really frowned upon.
Right. It's
And
kind
so
of,
from that aspect of it, just the attitude of the people that kind of like drove me away from that. And before the Sloanaker came up, I wasn't really in it anymore. I had no motivation to do this. So my
yeah.
motivation was gone. So as the Sloanaker came, I'm like, here's this whole another avenue that we can go down and just try to see, throw our hand in the game and see what comes of it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because and maybe it's also the show circuit too, right? Like the big show at the time was the classic, the change in the VW
Yeah.
scene as a whole, with like the infighting in Southern California between show promoters trying to undercut each other, overload
Yeah.
Cow Look weekend and make it Cow Look month, and then
Right.
a lot of that. I think I believe personally a lot of that had to do with really the dynamics of where now was the show to debut the car at, right? So like
That
when we're
too.
talking,
Yeah.
yeah, so when you're talking like Turmoil, that car is, it's just an incredible benchmark car that's just built to a whole nother level. And it seems like the VW scene kind of gets stuck
Yeah.
in like, oh, here's this super rare part that I have. And, they're really hard to find, but really you can find them, right? And so the whole thing then becomes
Yeah.
like the race of what's more rare than something else. And so, I could definitely see by that time it getting pretty exhausting to you, because here you're putting your heart and soul in these cars. You show up at a show, and then
Oh yeah.
rather than being surrounded by positive comments about it, everybody's looking for an angle like, well, yeah, I guess if you put enough money in,
Negative.
you know what I mean? Like, so I totally get what you're saying from that standpoint. And kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to touch on
Right.
this was just because it's one of the things that kind of, that made you look elsewhere for having the
Yeah.
creativity and really your artistic endeavor in these cars be appreciated, right? Because it's kind of going over everybody's head in the
Right.
VW scene, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if Turmoil would debut at DKP? You know what I mean? They would have looked at that car like,
Yeah. No, no,
some guy drags a car from back east, a pile of shit out there with missing half the stuff, and they'll pick that car over that car. But
yeah,
and that's the thing is like you can go to like a hot rod show and like these guys are actually going to judge the craftsmanship of the vehicle.
right.
And for me that was just luring for me. I'm like, this is where we need to be. This other stuff it's been a waste of my time for so many years. And that's
Well,
honestly how I feel about it now. But it's a stepping stone.
yeah, and I mean, and that's kind of one of the reasons why you've been a part of kind of the group helping with like, when with One Crazy Weekend last year we came up with like a best of show, like you make the custom billet
Yeah.
trophy, and we really try to make it, because with the classic going away, and then the kind of the challenge, the DKP thing is like, I remember the double cab caused some trouble over there because they were like, everybody was like, it's not cow look. And a lot of guys were like, it's a really cool, unique build. We should choose it. And the same thing happened with the Type 34, the gray car. And
Yeah.
it's like, And it was like, well, it has a Type 4, it's fuel injected. Sometimes it just starts going over people's heads to some
Yeah.
degree.
And it's their opinion. It's what they want to pick, right? So at the end of the day, it's what they're going after. It's not the best car in the parking lot, that's for sure. That usually gets a win.
Right, right. And so with that, so you debut, you take Turmoil out to the show, and then you go from the going for the Sloanaker, and you decide to take that car on kind of a tour of some of the other events. You hit the GNRS in Sacramento.
Yeah, so we went there.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Tennessee for the Triple Crown, which that show is amazing. That's probably is my favorite show. That show's unbelievable.
So tell me about the Triple Crown a little bit. What's the Triple Crown all about?
So essentially, I mean, they get the best cars, throughout the country,
Mm-hmm.
and they basically, you battle for top 30, elite 10, and all these other awards that you battle for, and it's just a really good environment, super fun, and good people, and great weather, and the scenery is amazing, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, because last year when you took, I think you went the first year you took Turmoil, and then did you take Turmoil and Wayne's car out the same year?
No, Wayne's car went out the following year.
Yeah, Wayne's car out the following year, and there's another car, right? It's another that's another car that's probably one of the baddest cars built, and
Yeah,
most people that walk by it, they don't
no,
appreciate the level of detail
yeah,
that's in that car. I mean, that car is
and
just,
he drives the living shit out of it.
yeah, that's even more awesome, right? I mean, Wayne's car is just, it's just got a ton of custom stuff done to it,
Yeah,
and it's just something where, it's one of these cars where the customization on that car is so subtle, if you don't know what you're looking at, you're going to miss half
yeah.
of it, and
That's that's my favorite car, by the way, that we've ever done. I love
oh,
that. That's still my. Oh yeah, that's even over the Gia. That thing is so awesome.
well, what's really cool about the 60 watt is what the car's called, right? So what's
Yeah,
cool about that car is everything from the interior bits to, I mean, it's just got custom interior. I mean, nothing super crazy, but everything just touched
yeah,
a little bit, right?
clean. Yeah, right.
And now, so going off that, you go now this next year, and Bad Karma was, it really started out called Bad Karma, right?
No, no, it was Menace at first.
Oh, Menace. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
and then we took it to the interior shop, and the guy's like, "Why aren't you? Why isn't this called? Why isn't it called named Karma?" And they actually named it. I was like, "Man, that's pretty cool."
Yeah, because this
So
car, I mean, you really followed kind of a template for a lot of the guys in the hot rod world. You went to uh, a real full custom interior shop.
yeah, hot rod
Who,
shop. Yeah, Tracy Weaver. He recovery room did an amazing job on the interior.
yeah, I mean the interior on Karma is just, it's it's so wild that
Yeah,
you know. And again, you're back to another thing where do people get it? Do they see the level of detail that's gone into this interior, from the custom panels to everything else? I mean, it's got so much custom stuff done to it. Let me see. I'll pull up a little shot of the interior, but I mean, you're talking you know, layers
yeah,
of wild detail. The
yeah.
rear package tray is all form fit, and it's got the
Oh yeah,
nitrous bottle in there, and it's got the access panels, all that stuff. I mean, and
yeah.
this was
Mike,
this was go ahead.
good. Yeah,
No,
Mike Bailey did all the Mike, our fabricator. Mike Bailey did all those surrounds, and he did a lot of work on that interior. I mean, if you look back in those back corners, you know how hard those back panels were to make.
oh, I can only imagine. I mean, that whole thing, it looks like and the inside hasn't been modified custom, like, or has it been all modified to wrap that in there, or did he make it
Oh
fit
yeah,
stock Gia?
all that rear, yeah, that all that whole back area. You're looking at 90% of that back area is custom made, handmade.
And the seats are wild looking. Now, those stock seats that have been modified.
Yeah, the bases. Yeah, yeah. We just kind of used the base and no springs, and yeah, I did a lot of work to those.
So the base on the seat is solid foam, sculpted out of foam, the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. I would assume so. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah, I mean it's just such it's so clean. You know what I mean? And the
Yeah,
funny part is a lot of us VW guys, we'll go to the SEMA show and we'll see stuff and we'll get motivated and inspired. And then you come back to the VW scene and you almost feel like it almost feels like the VW scene just has these guardrails like you can't do this, you can't do
yeah.
that, and it's been kind
Hmm.
of it to some degree, and I kind of side with you on this. It makes it unfun as a hobby, because
Yeah.
it's everything is so limited, and really when you see stuff that's done and it it makes you think something different or makes you see something because when you see some of those cars that are built by Troy, Rad Rides by Troy or
Oh yeah. Unbelievable.
Roadster Shop or
Oh yeah.
Ring Brothers, like all these guys they just build some insane stuff. And a lot of these guys have been in the game for a long time. They've got a huge reputation. They're building $1 million cars every year. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And the cool thing is here you are competing with those same guys with a Volkswagen. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because there have been four other VWs that won the Sloanaker, right? So we had the first one was in the late 70s or early 80s. It was Top Gun, and at the
Okay.
time I think it was called Eliminator or something like that. And then you had um, Pink Lady, and then you had Rodbuster, and then you now have Karma, right? But
Right.
what you'll notice throughout the car customization era, the car that would be the closest to having the level of detail like your car has would be like Rodbuster, right? And
Right.
Rodbuster, when that car was built, was like it's decades ahead of its time with respect to
Right.
like their billet machining stuff when billet just came out, when CNC machining and all that stuff first came out.
Yeah.
So
Because that was in what, 85?
yeah, 1985.
Yeah. So that was the last one to win it. That was what, 40? Is that 40 years ago?
Yeah, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's been I mean, it's been a while, and the car customization game has changed immensely. I mean, from
Yes.
interiors to level of detail.
Wow.
Now,
Yeah.
this car has an incredible amount of hours in it and machine work and stuff like that. Is the list shorter of like what parts are not custom machined on this car?
Yeah. Yeah. The list is shorter on things we didn't make, for sure.
Because you've made the axle tubes, you've made the brake bleeders, you made the brake rotors were
Yeah.
custom machined out of a solid block of
Yeah.
cast iron.
The front arms, the king and link pins. I mean, there's the steering, the entire steering wheel, all the way down, basically to the steering box. I mean, yeah, it's intense.
Yeah, I mean there's just such a crazy level of detail. Now under the front hood you've got the old school humpback tank
Yeah,
with some breather setups on it there.
yeah,
Is that what that
yeah,
is? And
yep.
then you followed that whole breather setup with the geez, it's like where do you stop on this car, right? Like everything from the interior with the embossed foot pad.
I like that picture right there. That's a cool picture.
Yeah, it's
And
just
I told Tracy from Recovery Room when he was doing that, I'm like, you motherfucker, you better put your logo on that because if you don't, I'm gonna be pissed. Because they when we were competing with Turmoil, Will from Big Oak, they debuted an Impala, and I just remember going over that interior and seeing that badge. I'm like, man, I just, the thought of just like working with someone like that, and at that time it was so I couldn't grasp it, I couldn't reach it at that time. So
right.
to team up with him and like get the car there, I'm like, it was so important for that badge to be in that car for me.
I mean, when you look at like around the pedal assembly, there's a billet machined trim plate that
Yeah,
isolates the carpet from the metal where the pan is, and it's just like that level of detail. Now, this is a full custom machine set of pedals for the car.
pedals. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Evan designed those and machined them.
So what's Evan's name in his shop?
OKE Tool and Machine.
Tool and Machine. And where are they
Yeah,
located?
Evan, 10 doors down from us in Tempe.
Oh, perfect. And so, I mean, for him to machine that stuff for you is just like, it's a lot of time first in design work, right? Because I'm sure no
Yeah.
one's
Oh
ever
yeah.
CAD drawn a set of VW pedals, and you got to start with going from the stock pedals and start building off of
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah. This
mean,
is his second set that he's done.
that is incredible, man. And all the hardware
Yeah.
on this car has been custom machined. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. He did all that stuff too.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Basically. Yeah. Yeah. He did. He's a nut.
I mean, when
And
I look at this, like the pieces here for the brake bleeders, you had the brake bleeders custom machined, right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
So like,
Yeah. I mean, I basically go to him and, cause what I do every night when I was building that car is I photograph everything, come home, blow everything up, dissect every single part, and then come back to him the next day. And I know I was driving him fucking crazy. And I'm like,
yeah,
dude, we got to make this part. We got to make this part. And everything that I threw at him, he made. It was unbelievable.
yeah, I mean, that's the, I just can't go over the level of customization. Now there was some pretty stiff competition out there at the Al Sloanaker Award. I mean, there was a lot
Oh,
of
oh yeah.
super, super high level cars.
Oh
And,
yeah.
I'm thinking with respect to what was your feeling when you kind of went in there and you started getting set up? Like when you're looking at the other cars that were there. Um,
Um, I had a chance to look at my buddy Zach debuted that black 56 there, and that car's so unassuming. I had a chance to like look at that thing. They had it jacked up in the parking lot. They had a couple adjustments that they had to make to the car, and I crawled underneath that thing, and I was like, "Man, fuck, holy shit!" Like we got
yeah.
some competition. Like it wasn't like it's you know the cars that showed up were slouches, and also too, we knew that car was getting built because we just happened to be in Indiana about a year ago, and they were on a Saturday and they were working on that car. And when me and Evan left that place, that black 56 was our main driving force the remainder of the time because I knew that car was coming. So I'm like, we can't we have to make this thing unbelievable if we even
Yeah.
stand a chance against that car.
I mean, to give everybody kind of a rundown of the cars that were there, um, there was one of the cars you had. I saw them on the Roadshow shop, but it was
Oh yeah, that
uh,
Chevelle was amazing.
Matt Jules 70 Chevy Chevelle, and then you had looks like Bob sitting sight singer 34 Chevy
Yeah,
Master
that was a cool car.
sedan. Yeah, the Donto Dingalo 41 Chevy Deluxe Coupe. This 33 Ford was wild.
Yeah,
The Studebaker, and
yeah.
the
There
Studebaker,
was a there was there was a reportedly a lot of money thrown at that car too.
oh yeah. Well, first and foremost, the
That car
Studebaker, right?
was.
Like
Did you look
everything
at that
on it's
car?
ridiculously expensive. I didn't get a
Yeah,
chance
that
to.
that
I was trying to get by the crowd because it seemed like Karma had a huge crowd around it all day.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
That Corvette was super nice too.
yeah. I mean,
Really nice.
every one of
Yeah,
these cars that was going for it, um, was a pretty serious car. And this Brett Clemens 56 Chevy 210, that's the one you're talking
yeah.
about.
Oh man, that car. There's so much going on with that car, and it's so understated. People
Yeah.
had people had no idea what they were looking at when they were walking around that car. That's for sure.
Well, and that's one of the things that I thought when I saw the car debut, right? When I saw it there, I thought, wow, I'm thinking, because there's so many factors that you're thinking in your head, right? Because I saw the color, and the color was so different. And there seems to be, and what I mean by different, like different than what you would expect in that lineup, right? You see, there's like that Nardo gray, Chevelle, everybody has
Yeah,
this tendency to use like kind of colors that are kind of in fad right now. You know what I mean? Like if
right.
you'll see that, you'll see a lot of cars that are kind of looking like that. But you kind of the color on Karma is what color is that? Is that out of the box? Is that one of the factory
Uh,
VW colors, or is it
no,
different?
no. Yeah, that's different. Yeah, yeah. We
Because it's
basically start from a color chart. and
Because
then
it's kind
tint
of
it from
a,
off the color chart.
what color would you say that is? Because I'm a little colorblind. I don't want to say what color
I
it
mean,
is.
it would just olive green. It's just a metallic olive green.
So it is a metallic green because it kind of reminded me of like the early the '69 Camaro green, right? Like is a
Yeah,
little bit of
yeah,
that gold. It's kind of a gold green.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you started building this car, did you have like a concept drawing of what you were going to do, or were you just
No, it's
building it
just in my
as you
head.
go?
Yeah, just in my head.
And
Kind of had an
now,
idea of what we were going to do, and everything just kind of morphed from there.
what did with having the experience of doing turmoil? What were some things after having that experience where you're thinking, listen, when I'm going to do this car, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Were you thinking that because turmoil was a Beetle, it might have got overlooked? Were you thinking you had to come with a different platform? Like, what was the beginning of this game plan, or did this kind of turn into you've got to and now the owner of the car is his owner of the car's name is
Dennis Troggio.
yeah, Dennis
Troggio. Yeah.
Troggio. And
Uh huh.
so when he brought you the car, was this a goal for him to get it to the road show, or he was starting with, or did
No,
this kind of
no. He just wanted to build a Gia for his because his brother had one, and so we found it, and he retired from his job, so he was bored, and then so when we got back from the show,
uh-huh.
we it was maybe a couple weeks after we had lunch with him, and I was telling him about the show, and he's like, "Man, I think I kind of want to do it," and but his stipulation was if we do it, I want to be a part of it. I want to work on this thing.
Oh,
And
really?
oh yeah, dude. And he was down there. Like he's retired, right? Freaking multimillionaire. He's down there sanding polyester and
Really?
block sanding. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he was down there for months with us,
So
sanding on that car.
I mean, I think that's probably a pretty unique circumstance, right? Not a lot of these
Oh
cars like
yeah.
this have the guy hands on with it. Now,
Yeah.
so was he kind of like, buddy, I want you to do what you think you should do with this thing for this car to take that award? Did he have like what?
He never said a word. He's just like, let's do it.
So what
He
he
never
was like,
he,
whatever you want to do.
yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Now,
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit
He's
about
crazy.
the.
He's crazier than I am.
Well, that's awesome, and I'm definitely going to want to do an interview with him as well coming up.
Oh yeah.
Um, Now, talk to me about the wheels. What's the background, the story on the wheels?
Well, the background is the background of those wheels. Those wheels were a nightmare. We originally in SEMA. I don't remember what year it was. There was a guy that he kind of had they debuted a set of wheels that were very similar to them, and so
Right.
hooking up with those guys, I hooked up with those guys,
Yeah,
and
I brought you over there. I was like, buddy, you got to see these
yes,
wheels. And then we
yes,
go
and
to this.
so. And
Yeah.
so I start talking to these guys, and then next thing you know, I'm designing these wheels that they're going to start producing for everybody, and not knowing on the back end there's people giving deposits. And so me and I don't remember the guy's name, we're working together, and we're coming up with these wheels. And long story short, they they did not deliver. Let's just put it that way. And then Andy hooked us up with the guys that built your wheel.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. Rims carnated. Yeah.
Oh man, those guys are unbelievable. So those guys, I sat down with a buddy of mine, Patrick, and I needed some help. Evan was just so buried with making other parts that he just did not have time to do some of the things on this car. And so
Yeah.
I got with Patrick Sucro, and we designed those wheels together. And then rims carted, they machined them and did an unbelievable job.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Where you're looking 10 years ago when you were building cars, it's like I mean, you could get a custom billet set of wheels, but it was like you needed it was a whole different deal than it is today. And now
Yeah.
there are some resources that we have in the building world of things to really do stuff different. Like when you look at the video for a second showed that door panel, and it's like when you look at the door panel on the car, right?
Mhm.
There's so much going on that door panel, and most people would just kind of gloss over it. You know what I mean? But people
Yeah.
that know what a typical Volkswagen looks like, when you're going to look at that panel, you're going to know that there's so much work that's gone into that. It's just such a perfectly formed interior. It just looks so good. I mean, that's the craziest part, right? These cars are so simple to begin with. And then when you started doing whatever you're doing with this, like going down the road for the Sloanaker Award, it was just like whatever it takes, right? And
Yeah.
there's a fine line, right? Because you can do some stuff and kind of ruin
Oh
the look
yeah.
of the car. And I
You can
think this
throw up on
car,
it.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely got so much custom stuff to it. Um, it's just, I mean, it's there's no wonder that you won. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to be incredibly stoked to come back and win
Yeah.
after your first time out there. Um, but getting back to the build on the car. So with respect to parts you had done, there was a picture here of it, because I even, that's why I had to take pictures, because when I'm looking at the car, I didn't even notice half of the stuff that was done. Like when you said, like, this is a picture you sent me of the trailing arms that are all custom
Yeah.
machined and all, and it's
Oh
just
yeah.
like, even the it's like even the end caps that you have holding them to the torsion bars is all, it looks like a revolver. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
almost like a 6-shooter type thing. But it's
Right.
just so crazy, the level of detail that
Yeah.
you guys went to. And
Yeah. All that stuff under there, all that stuff you just looked at, all that stuff Evan made.
yeah, it's just incredible. And it's, um with respect to the trailing arms, now those are machined out of steel, like
Steel.
cast iron.
Yeah. Yeah. No, just regular steel. I don't know what alloy. I don't know the.
You left that up to the
I would
machinists.
assume it's just. Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, do what you do. Now talk to me about this
Yeah.
exhaust. The exhaust you have on here is kind of wild, with the with
Yeah.
the fittings, everything here. Who designed the exhaust on this?
Matt Todd.
That is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Him and Doug were talking, and he wanted to build something that did not like, you know, t- like a sidewinder or anything, like all that stuff hangs down. You can see it from the back of the
Right.
car.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I had the garage open. I was walking up behind the car today, and it was actually the first time that it dawned on me. Because I had the split and the Gia parked side by side, and you could see the sidewinder hanging down. I'm like, whoa, what a difference! It's just such a difference.
Yeah, I mean, that
It's awesome.
exhaust is tucked up super tight
Yeah,
inside, and that's the
yeah.
other
He
thing.
he he made the mufflers from scratch. Everything. I mean, he packed those mufflers, and yeah, he did an amazing job on those things.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Unless you have an hour and a half by yourself next to the car to look at, like,
Yeah,
the way, I mean, to see this exhaust pull up in the back and then tuck up into the apron and then drop down just so the tips pop out, and then
yeah,
the under panels that you have here. I mean, it's
yep,
just it's just absolutely insane, the level of detail. Not to mention, all the additional machine work that's been done on the pan.
yeah,
I mean, it's it's no wonder why it won, without question. And
yeah.
it's just been something
Without
that,
question.
yeah, I mean, it's just so cool that it's done that. Now on the dash, in the center of the dash, you've got kind of like, is that kind of the logo for the car, kind of
Yeah,
a swooped,
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
the
Just trying to
Carmen Ghia
get
body line?
exactly. Yeah,
Now the gauges on the dash look like split window gauges, or look like, I'm sorry, the knobs look like split window
yeah,
knobs. So
yeah.
you
Oh yeah,
took split window knobs and had them custom machined and made switch covers for
yeah,
those.
yeah. And then we did the push button on the other side.
On the left side where the key normally goes.
Yeah, yeah. We put a push button start right there.
Now this shifter, I see it's got a push button on the top of the shifter there.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that the
Evan
actual reverse
designed.
lockout?
Oh yeah, yeah. Evan designed that, machined that.
That is wild, man. Now
Yeah, the e brake.
and the steering wheel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He did that too.
So the steering wheel was out of a solid block of aluminum.
Yeah, I think it was 390 pounds it started with, and I think we weighed it, and it was 9 pounds when it was all done.
Holy cow! But you've got to get something that big to be able to
Yeah.
machine the actual steering wheel. Now, what kind of machine time does it take to make that steering wheel?
Oh, it was multiple days. I think 2 days. I think. I mean, he's setting that thing up in different fixtures, and
That's
yeah, I'm just
wild.
sitting here looking. I'm just sitting here looking. This is probably the first time I've actually enjoyed looking at this car.
Now the gauges, the gauge bezels you have, those are all custom machined as well. Now, what type of gauges are in the car?
Those are factory gauges. We just restored them and custom painted them.
So you restored, custom painted the gauges, and then made custom trim bezels for them.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
I mean, I can even see that the steering column mount is custom. So like
Everything from that steering. I mean, you looking at everything all the way down to the steering box. Evan made that, and the way that car steers is unbelievable. It was huge difference. Huge. I couldn't
really,
believe the difference. Yeah. Oh yeah. Uh
did he
huh.
make is it rack and pinion or he made a steering box for it?
No, yeah, no. We bought a steering box and then modified the steering box.
Yeah. And so I've seen you drive the car in and out of the trailer and around the parking lot a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
let's talk about the motor and transaxle setup on this. What's the motor and transaxle setup, and who are the builders?
Uh, Doug Gonzalez from RevMaster. He built the motor. And so that particular combination, and I'm laughing at that because I don't know how many times before we finally pulled the trigger. I don't know how many times that motor combination changed. I mean, and when I say change, we just didn't change our mind. We actually had the parts bought and then went another direction and then went another direction. I think like 4 or 5 times we did that. And
Yeah.
finally we came up with that combo. And I have no idea what is in that thing. Doug won't tell me. He doesn't trust me to so I don't, because he knows I don't keep my mouth shut with that kind of stuff.
Right. Now so the motor's like a 2386 uh
Yeah.
built to drive. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, this is a show motor. We have two motors for it. This is a show motor essentially, but I am gonna drive it, and with this, we're gonna do another video of us driving this car because all the people that are commenting about, what a waste it doesn't drive. I mean, that's just like the most ignorant comment like people can make. And so we're gonna drive it here pretty soon. Put some miles on it, like real actual miles.
yeah. Well, what's interesting is a lot of these cars, they're kind of built for, like, this was built for a purpose, right? This car was built.
Yes,
It was built to take the Al Sloanaker Award, which is like
yes,
mission
that was
accomplished,
it.
right?
Yes,
And now that it's built, is now it's Dennis, right? Owner
yeah, yeah.
Dennis so Dennis plans to put a few miles in the car.
Yeah, once we get done showing it at the end of the year, probably a year and a half, then we'll swap out the motors and then he'll drive it around a little bit. Not crazy,
Right. Well, just
And that's
something.
and that's the thing too is like, we built Wayne Callahan's car because we knew he was going to drive it. This
Right.
car right here, we built it to go to shows and drive occasionally. If you want to go to Cars and Coffee, yes, you can drive that. You can hop in that car in my garage right now and drive it to Cars and Coffee. Everything works on that car. There's nothing that's hidden. Obviously we got to work all the bugs out and stuff, but that's the fun part of driving it.
Well, the interesting thing is, if you look back at a lot of those cars from back in the 80s and stuff like that, a lot of those cars were show only. Like, they looked like
Right.
they looked like they drove, but they, like, I mean, Andy bought the Gia, Dennis Hyde's Gia, got it all the way to England, tore it apart, and like was getting ready to drive the car, and it's like
All apart.
there was no wiring in the car.
Yep.
It was, so when they say it was for show, like, it was literally
Yep.
for show.
No, and that was
So
that was another factor for us too when we were building this car. I didn't want to take it to the show and then have to pull something back apart to finish it after that. No, we drove that car in there and they look at that.
and that's also part of the criteria for the car too, right? You
Yeah,
pull the
oh
car
yeah,
up,
for sure.
and
Yeah.
so when you're going for a Sloanaker, what's that like? So when you pull into the Roadster show, and then, like, what's they pull you on the carpet, they check out the car, like, what's
Yeah.
that whole thing
Yeah. I
like?
mean, they watch that car run and come in the building and it rolls in front of their table and they're not going to tell you how awesome it is. They're not going to tell you all of these amazing things about it. No, they're ripping that car apart. Their job is to find everything wrong with that. So it's not one of those things where you're high fiving those guys. No, they're it's the exact opposite. You know, you go across that table and you're like, well, here we go.
And so the pictures that they had on the Roadster show where they showed all the cars parked against the backdrop, is that during the
Yep.
judging process of that car?
That's the start of the judging right there. Yep.
So
And then you basically do a 10-minute, you know, you talk to them about 10 minutes, you just tell them everything that's been done to it. And then, you know, from there you start opening everything up and they come with their lights and they start inspecting right away. Like right
and
there.
yeah, that's, I mean, it's just, it's definitely a pressure cooker, right? To be
Yeah.
going for the Sloanaker because you're up against, and I think the cool part about it is the variety of the cars that were in that setup are just
Yeah.
so
Real
crazy. I mean,
different. Yep.
because the car across from you at an angle, I mean, you had from the Studebaker to the 37 Chevy sedan to the um
That
to
Chevelle.
like the Chevelle and then
I think it was.
57 Chevy and then you've
Did you
got the
look at that
Mopar.
Chevelle? Like, did you really look at that Chevelle? That thing is.
I, I I walked by. I didn't get a chance to really check it out. And a lot of these cars. Now, who built the Chevelle? Do you know that? So, or do you
Oh,
know the builders?
I forget the guy's name. Yeah, no, Doug kind of ruffled some feathers when those guys rolled in, so I don't think they liked us too much after
Oh,
that.
oh, Doug was with you, and he kind of
Oh,
ups,
yeah,
upset
because
the
you know their
apple
cars,
cart.
and I didn't know it. Their car's quiet. Like he came in and their car's really quiet. That's 1,000+ horsepower car. And I guess Doug walks up to the guy. He's like, "What is that? A 6-cylinder in there?" And I'm like, "No, you didn't. You didn't." Oh man, but you know, it's in good fun. You know, he's just teasing with them. But I'm like,
Right.
dude, Doug, you can't be doing that stuff, man.
Yeah, they take it pretty seriously.
Oh, he was.
Now back on the back. So back on the motor, real quick. That motor is a
2387.
2387. I know I've got a
Yeah,
video of it, but looking at, so I've got this set up here of the motor, and this is before you put the fan on. And what a lot
yeah,
of people didn't recognize or didn't realize is that the motor is that fan setup. Let me get to that fan picture. That fan is dead center
yeah.
of the entire engine
Man,
compartment.
I can't believe I didn't send you any better pictures of the motor.
And what's interesting is that that engine is made, that the tin on that motor, it's not fiberglass like all of the other ones out
No,
there. It's actual
it's all sheet
steel.
metal. Yep,
So it's all sheet metal and it was all TIG weld, like all those pieces are all put
yep.
together
Matt
to
Todd,
make
yeah, and Matt Todd did that stuff, and we hardly have any filler in that, and
that.
all those tins barely have any filler in it. He did such an amazing job on that stuff.
Yeah, that's insane, man. And
Yeah,
one of the big things about it is the fan is dead center, which means you had
yeah,
to come up with your own pulley system
yeah,
to adjust the belt tension. So you have
yeah.
like two, is one a fix and one's a tensioner? Is that how it goes? Or are they
Well,
both adjustable?
both of those are tensioners. Yeah, both
Really?
Patrick designed those, and you can tension those with your fingers like no problem. And Evan machined all that stuff, and
Wow.
another thing too, and I wish I had the photo too, but that strap, Evan machined that strap out of one piece of aluminum. So there's no, you know how like a factory or a Porsche one would have that spring tensioner on the top that tightens that shroud down.
Right.
There's none of that. There's none of that. And I wish I would have sent you a better picture because that stuff's awesome.
Yeah. It's I mean it's just so crazy the level of stuff that's done on this car. I mean, I can't get over the interior because the interior is just such a
Yeah, that's my
wild.
favorite part of the car.
Yeah. And then the seats, now with the seats being cut down low like that, it's probably nice in a car in a
Yeah,
Gia, because Gia's the seat sits pretty high, and then
pretty
to
tall.
sit nice and
Yes.
low like that makes the car
Yep.
probably feel a lot bigger for sure.
Yes.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah, here's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. There you go. Right there. Yeah. There's a better picture of it. Yeah.
So those are the tensioners, and then you
Yep.
adjust the dials here on the side to
On the
add
side of
tension
it,
to them.
exactly. Yeah, and it's all done by hand. I didn't even put a wrench to those. I tightened them up by hand, and then I locked the little tensioners down, and that thing fired right up. I mean, that design right there. If anybody wants to copy that, good luck. That I there's a ton of hours into that.
Yeah,
Months of design time went into that because you have to be precise on everything.
yeah, and the center, just the center mount shroud to be dead center is pretty wild
Yes.
because everybody builds it off of the alternator stand. Now, what did you
Yeah.
do with the alternator stand? It's just sealed up the hole for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
alternator.
Yeah. It's all under. Yeah. It's all under that base.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
we
that's
took the distributor because it's the crank trigger. So we took the distributor hole and we turned that into our oil fill. So that's how we fill the oil up.
that's rad. Yeah, that's. I mean, it's just so crazy to see what's. So you had sent me this video here of putting the clutch on it. So it's got like a Rev 6 clutch setup on it too,
Yeah.
or like clutch management type setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is and Doug's the guy known for having the green Mamba, right? Like
Yeah.
Doug's drag racer extraordinaire, so he
Yeah.
knows he knows what's up. So this
Oh
thing's
yeah.
been built to like straight rip. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a better picture of the fan shroud, which looks like the fan shroud is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pieces. 14 pieces welded together and
Yeah.
sanded for days to
Yeah,
look
and
that
like I said,
clean.
there's hardly you looked at all the welds on the inside of that fan shroud, and you look at how well that's metal finished. He did such an amazing job. Great
Yeah,
job.
and
Carlos
that's
body worked that thing, and when I say body worked, we polyed it, he blocked it, and it got down in all the little just detailed areas, and just an amazing job. And Doug was the creator of that. Let's move that fan shroud to the center, and I fought him on it for months. I'm like, man, that's gonna be so much fucking work. And sure as shit, it was a ton of work. But
yeah,
we hid the all the wires. And this is another thing about this car. There's only 3 visible wires on this car.
yeah.
Only
You
3.
can't see anything. All the
No.
wiring's hidden.
Yeah, all the
Yeah,
wiring's hidden.
yeah, and yeah. So yeah, it's just and the front hood hinges are custom as well.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Those are all machined. I mean, like now,
yep.
what are these? There's these aluminum scoops here on the side, inside the
So we
engine
have
compartment.
so those are covers for all the fuse box panels. There's fuse box panels and
Oh,
in
nice.
both under both those boxes.
Oh,
The
nice.
funny thing, we were doing the designing the top of that gas tank. We designed it. And I'm like, God, it kind of looks like a radiator. I'm like, I wonder how many people we're gonna fuck with and be like, is the motor in the front? Is this a radiator? There were a couple people like, is the radiator? Is this the radiator? I'm like, yeah, it's the
That's
radiator.
it. Does look like the top of a radiator tank for sure
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you're looking
yeah,
at it and you're a guy
yeah.
trying
So
to
that's
figure out
yeah. So
what
we
kind of
kind of
car it
messing
is.
around with that. Yeah.
No, I like it. And then all the matte finish, is that all Cerakote or is it just matte
No,
paint?
that's all matte paint. Yeah,
Jeez Louise.
everything's painted. Yeah,
Now
Jesus. I mean, you look at all the detail and all that stuff. Dennis and Jesus, mainly Jesus. I mean, that he masked all that stuff off for me, and
and
he did
then
such an amazing job.
I mean you've got and then the hardware on this car.
Yeah,
All the hardware is custom made where it's like
yeah,
it looks like almost like a turbine on
right.
all
Yep.
the bolts to kind of make each bolt looks like it's spinning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I kind of wanted a lot of the stuff look like it was in motion when the car was sitting still. That was kind of like the idea behind it.
Yeah, it's definitely another level of yeah, I saw something here. I don't know if this so, so you and Troy have a little back and forth every now and again or
Oh
what?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Troy used to be a VW guy. Didn't he start out in VWs?
I think his dad did. I think
Yeah.
always been a hot rods, but I think his dad was into it. Someone
Yeah.
he knew.
Now, is the top of the gas tank bead rolled?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Mikey
is
at
it
Driven Speed Shop made that gas tank.
it's a custom gas tank in the car
Oh yeah,
made to look like the original humpback tank.
exactly. Yeah. I had it laid out to where it was, pretty much flat. It actually went all the way back and then kind of dropped down, and it just didn't look right in there. So we put the humpback back in it, and I just like that look better. Some cars, you can get away with it, like the Bugs. You can get away with a square tank like that, but not on these. I don't think. It just didn't look right.
So when you pull in to go to the Roadster show, you get in, you're all set up. What is I mean, obviously, there was a monster crowd around the car basically the whole day um, that we were there. It just seemed like everybody just kept swarming the car all day. And this was the area where all the cars that were going for a Sloanaker were there. But
Yeah,
it was definitely something that it just seemed like it was getting a lot of attention. I mean, especially your space, right? They probably couldn't have given you a
yeah,
better spot
yeah,
right by the doors where everybody's coming in. You
yeah.
know,
That was a good spot.
there's just so many people just able to check the car out.
Yeah, and the guy that won it last year was in that spot too.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, but the crazy part is, this is just a judging panel. It has nothing to do with the public making any decisions. This is a
No.
judging panel. Now, who's on the judging panel to judge these cars? Is it like
Well,
known builders?
yeah, yeah, builders, and Steve Strope, right?
Yeah, yeah. Steve Stroop, he's a
Yeah,
monster. But
he's one of the judges. Troy Ladd's one of the judges. Brian
yeah,
Anderson and a couple
that's
other guys.
just
There's 5 of them.
yeah. It's
And
just incredible,
they're not there to be your buddy and tell you what a good job you did and pat you on the back.
right?
And that's what the best part about it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's they're judging the car. You're not bringing your car to an event and 20 of your buddies roll in and and they're judging for your car. This is actual real deal stuff.
Right, and which has kind of been the complaint with some of the VW events where they started getting really lazy and setting it up to
Oh
where it's
yeah.
like, well,
Well,
we'll just
that's
have
just
the
it.
participants judge the cars, and it's like, what's the
Yeah.
point of building something super sick if it's like it's subject to everybody's? Is it
Right.
their
Well, it's
flavor?
yeah. Look at all the promoters that's taken over these VW events. Tell me one that's gotten better. You can't because it's just worse. They've gotten they're lazy. They want to do the least amount of work as possible. Put the most amount of money in their pocket. It's horrible.
Yeah,
Horrible.
that was my complaint last year for the show I went to in the summertime. Is it just felt like a money grab to me? It was like
Yeah.
that. It was like you're paying your $20 to park in this park, and then
Yep.
you're going to park at the first available
Hmm.
space. There's no organization. There's no flow to it. We're
Yep.
not going to have people directing cars. You're parked where you're
Nope.
parked, and that's it. And it's like,
Well, and not only that, look at the people that's taken them over. It's the son, the you had the Holes, you had Kimball, that they started these events. The parents started the events.
yeah,
So then they hand it off to the kids that didn't have to work for any of it, and they go into the toilet. It's
well,
it's
and I think part of the problem is, and that's why I've been so focused on making one crazy weekend just
right.
such a good time. Like you register for the show, you get you get free stuff when you register for the show. You're getting like you get your well. Last year we did the free souvenir photographs. So you pulled your car in front of the marquee sign. We had a photographer there taking pictures. So just like in old Vegas, like you just get a thing with your car underneath the marquee sign at the Orleans. You
Yeah,
get poker chips, you get sticker packs, you get a poster, you get all
right.
kinds of
Because
stuff
you
that
Yeah,
everybody
because you
else
care. They
sells.
don't. They don't care. They just want the money and do the least amount of work as possible. And I'm not talking bad about them. That's the truth. That is the truth.
Yeah, no, and that's one of the reasons why we decided to start One Crazy Weekend, because first, it's Vegas. Second, it's something that we can make like no other. And like this year, I don't think you were at the poker tournament this last year. were you? Did you showed up on Friday or you showed up Thursday last year?
I don't remember.
Because
That
we
was
did
a
a there was
blur.
a there was I know it was a there was a poker tournament on Thursday night, which was just too wild to watch. Doug Berg and Clyde Berg and the Romero brothers battling it out, and like watching all these guys play poker that have no idea how to play poker, and the dealers telling them, okay, you can do this or you can do that. It's just like there's 40 people playing poker, and out of the 40, maybe 5 knew how to play poker, and the rest were just
Yeah.
kind of figuring out. But it's one of those things
Right.
where it now becomes this event where people can bring their cars to show off. And what I really enjoy about, like, we have the best of show trophy that you give out. We put some cash with that, so you get $1,000 for showing
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, when was the last time? I mean,
Huh.
the holes actually started to do it towards the end
Right.
before they started getting, because they're not from SoCal, before they started getting
Right.
kind of sabotaged over there. And so
Yep.
they saw the value in, like, giving some cash
Yep.
back to the guys that bring these cars out. And
Short-lived.
yeah, and then with the custom billet award that you make plus the cash, and then in addition to that,
And
like, even
and that's
the
the
top
thing, like we talked about, all these guys had to do was go around to these shops and get people in the community that actually care about these cars to get them to do
right.
cool stuff like this. But it's their mindset's a lot different than yours, I think, when it comes to that aspect of
Well,
it.
I think sometimes when you're too much behind the scenes, like just trying to, when your focus is make an event that makes money versus like make an event that people will pay anything to go to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And with the event at One Crazy Weekend, it's now it's really become an event. Like, I released rooms, like, probably not probably, it's last Friday they released the rooms for One Crazy Weekend, and the first block of rooms was gone.
Gone. Oh yeah.
And so she said, well, this is a great problem to have, we're just opening up more rooms. You know what I mean? And so they're they're going to
Are you
make
doing it at the
sure.
same are you doing it at the same hotel, or were you
Yes.
moving it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Nope.
Because you were
We're
gonna
doing.
you talked about moving it.
Well, what happened was they had said to me, that, oh, you're too big for the front space, we're gonna have to move you. And I said, nope, I got to
So
stay there. I got to stay there. I got to move the show to someplace, because the whole vibe of being right out front of the hotel and casino is so cool that, like, you walk out the front doors, you're not in the back alley around the corner.
yeah,
And
right.
this year it's going to be even better because, we'll get it to max capacity. We're going to lock down the parking lot a little bit better during the showtime, but for the most part, there's going to be more. There's going to be like a '80s cover band playing in the lounge. There's going to be there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be a little different this year. But the bowling tournament, the poker tournament, it becomes like the classic would be such a blur for us, because we jam down there, hang out, do a little,
yeah.
run around doing all the stuff. And then by the time the weekend's over, you're kind of like burnt out and you really didn't have
Hmm.
that much fun. You know what I mean? Because you were so busy doing it. Now, when we weren't showing cars, but like for you, you're showing cars and you're stressed out and it's like a whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's work.
Yeah. And then now with One Crazy Weekend, because I know I was on you for a while, like, dude, you got to come, you got to check it out. And then you came, checked it out, and you're like, bro, this was a blast. Like, I'd never had
Yeah.
this much fun at a show. And now it's become this thing where people from all around the world are focused on coming to this show because, number one, it's Vegas. And you add Vegas and Volkswagens together and a bunch of VW idiots cruising the strip together. I mean,
Yeah. And Spike, and you throw a Spike in there. That's
yeah, you throw Andy. Yeah. And I mean, like, all that just gets to be, it's just,
uh
it's stuff
he
where,
makes for me that guy makes it. That guy makes the entire show, man. It's like
yeah,
it's unreal. He's unreal.
yeah, it makes the weekend, but that's the thing. Everybody can kind of link up with friends they haven't seen in a while. It becomes a meeting point. It becomes a place where everybody can hang out, get together.
Yeah.
And if you never leave the property, it doesn't even matter, because everything's
No.
there on site. Everybody can
Yeah.
hang out, lounge together. And this year, Sunday, we're actually, Spike's doing so last year, all the guys from England stayed Sunday because they flew out Monday. And so they all hung out at the pool area. And so this year, Joey Giordano and Andy Fincher are going to sponsor the Sunday cool down at the pool down, So
Oh,
they're
okay.
all. It's going to be kind of a pool party on Sunday.
At
So
at the hotel.
at the hotel, yeah. So
Oh no way, that's awesome.
that's going to be a good time. So it just
Yeah,
keeps building to be more of a memorable weekend where you can get together with
yeah,
friends you haven't seen in a while.
yep.
You get to enjoy the hobby, and that was
Oh
always
yeah,
my advice to you and to anybody that's in the in the hobby as a business is like come to the event and just hang out at the event and remember why you love these cars, why
yeah,
you find those same people that aren't super clicky, that everybody's just cool and mellow. I
yeah,
mean, I see you all the time. There's all kind of people coming up to you, talking to you like, oh man, that car you did is super cool. And it's more of a relaxed environment, you know, because when you're at a
yeah,
show, it's like you get there at 6 in the morning, you've been prepping the car till 8 o'clock, and then you're just racking yourself over like how the car looks the whole time. And then by the time the show's over, everybody's gone. You don't get a chance to chat with anybody or hang out or do any of that kind of stuff. So it just becomes this whole stress deal. And so that's why I kept
yeah.
telling, Lanny, all these guys that were coming down, I'm like, guys, just come down and enjoy the show,
Yeah.
and just be part of it, which is why there's the driving aspect to it with the poker run. I mean,
Oh yeah.
the poker run's a riot. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's a good time. That's a blast. Yeah. Back on
so,
Andy though. I mean, I don't think I've ever met anybody with as much passion as that guy
oh
has for
yeah.
Volkswagens. That guy, like, he sparked something in me a long time ago. I was like, man, this guy is he's just awesome, dude.
Yeah, and he's did like he just knocked out his Gia, painted it that money green,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I don't.
that
He's
dude's
an
on
animal.
fire, man.
Yeah. Good
But
times.
no, it's listen, I mean, congratulations on
Thank
the
you.
Grand National Roadster Show Award. I mean
Yep.
that's a massive benchmark, especially in today's level of hot rods. I
Yeah.
mean, because
Well,
that car transcends the Volkswagen scene and it is in
right.
the full bath of the car culture, like the
Right.
custom car arena. And
Right.
for for you to be able to be one of us VW guys and come out there and you're not a hot rod guy that got into VWs just so you could build your hot rod version of VW. Like you saw what they were doing and
Yeah.
you brought your A game. And I mean,
Yeah.
what did it feel like when you knew that you won?
Man, it was surreal. It was just
Yeah.
surreal. And and I'm not gonna lie, it's like what do I do now? That kind of set in like right away. Well, like what do we, how what that crosses your mind right away, and
Yeah.
then it's like holy shit, I can't believe we just pulled this off. But the thing about it too is like you take these little cars that people disrespect,
Yeah.
talk down on, and bring it to that caliper of a show, and to do that good, it was unbelievable.
And obviously your whole team at Type 1 Restoration is let's give everybody a mention who's on the team, who helped you deliver that car. So all the
Oh,
guys at the shop.
yeah, so many people. I can't. I mean, the list. I'm gonna try to do my best on Instagram to thank everybody, but the main core: Carlos, Jesus, Adam, Jake, Evan, Mike Bailey, Matt Todd, Mikey from Driven. I mean, there's so many hands that Patrick. I can't. I don't want to start naming people because I'm gonna leave so many people out. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean,
Right.
it's an endless amount of people.
Yeah. And also without builders willing to do without people willing to write the check for cars like this, they don't exist. You know what I mean? And find those
No, they
people
don't. You hit the nail on the head. Like, I can't tell you
to
how many times I've thanked Dennis and like just thanked him so much for the opportunity, and for him to just continue to pay and pay and just to, to no end. I mean, there's a lot of money in this car, and he gave us everything we needed, and he didn't need to. You know what I mean? He could be off on an island somewhere doing whatever he wanted to be doing, but he
yeah.
chose to do this and kind of take this ride together. And yeah, and you hit the nail on the head. Without him, this doesn't go. Point blank. Without that guy, it doesn't go. Without guys like you supporting us, it doesn't go.
Now with the first go round with turmoil at the Roadster Show, getting exposure in that hot rod world, did that change anything for you with like people
Yeah.
reaching out to you and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple opportunities come through our door, and they wanted high end builds. But that's the thing too, is like, and I'm essentially, I did these cars back to back. So that's essentially 8 years of my life and
Yeah.
just hyper focused on that. So a lot of things at the shop have suffered, other projects. And it's just, it's impossible to have a small shop to make everybody happy, to get all the jobs done, meet all the deadlines without stuff falling behind. Because, when you get a part off the machine, you're like, okay, this is going to take me a couple hours, and it takes 3 days to finish out, and
Right.
the whole job is like that. It's mind boggling how much time goes into these cars.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely a commitment. Like you see something like this and get to this point and finally make it through it. And then, like you said, you finish it and you're done and you're like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But so next on the list for you, for you and Karma is going to be taking this car.
Chicago. We're going to Chicago. Yeah.
Now, Chicago, that's not the Riddler stuff, is it?
Well, so this is in hopes, so Riddler is a week prior, and then usually the Riddler winner jumps over to Chicago, and because it's just 2 or 3 days out, so that's our hopes, that car's there, and we can compete against that car and see how we do.
Is that an Autorama? Is that what that show is,
Yeah.
or what's the name of
So
that show?
the Chicago it's the Legend Cup, and it's World of Wheels. And so
Okay.
we went there last year to look at it or to go check it out. And Rad Rides had their 36 there last year. They actually won it last year. So there's high caliber cars that go out there.
And what did and when is that? When is that show in Chicago?
When is May 6th?
Oh, so that's
April?
May.
No, I'm sorry, March 6th. 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, March 6th.
Oh, wow. So you'll load
Yeah.
that car up and head for
Yeah.
Chicago.
Hmm.
And then after Chicago, are you going to do the Triple Crown again this year?
Yeah, that'll be done. We're going over the show. We're gonna go over some shows this week with Dennis. I mean, we're gonna do SEMA, Triple Crown. We're gonna try to do Battle of the Builders, Triple Crown, Barrett Jackson. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, we're going to um, Nebraska. Wheel Hub Live is they're doing a pretty crazy show that's kind of like, it's in the groundwork right now, but it should be a pretty interesting deal by the time it's all said and done. They're gonna have a lot of cars out there.
So if I'm a VW guy and I'm going to go to one of these shows, I'm like, buddy, what show am I going to? I'm going to take Zorba to one of these shows, and not that I plan to win anything, but just to go have fun and bring more VWs out to these hot rod shows. You know what I
Triple
mean?
Crown, Triple Crown.
The Triple Crown's the one. It's a good time.
Oh, they would love that car there. Oh yeah.
So and Triple Crown's in what, Kentucky?
Tennessee, Nashville.
So it's in Tennessee. That's a
Yeah,
drive. Well,
it's a drive.
yeah, but you know
But that's
what?
part of it.
Correct. It's one of those things where I think it'd be fun to see 5 or 6 or 7 Volkswagens out at those shows
Yeah.
just to have them
Hmm.
out there. You know what I mean? And there's enough nice Volkswagens that
Yeah.
can go out to some of these events and really give these VA guys a shiner, right? Like
Yeah.
they show up because in that world
ask
out there, they get pretty upset when you kind of.
ask ask Wayne Callahan about that when we were at Triple Crown last year, and he got a top 30, and the people next to us, man, they were not happy.
They were
They
real
and
upset, huh?
Oh, and Wayne, Wayne's the nicest guy, and they're giving it to Wayne, and Wayne's like, "Hey, listen, I'm just here enjoying the show. I don't, yeah, yeah."
Yeah, that's
A
wild,
shiner to
man.
say the least. They were upset.